Today is a great day to discover crypto, everybody. Why do I got this in? It's in here playing music in my ear. I'm Deezy. It's a great day. It's November 1st, everybody. I hope everyone had a wonderful Halloween. Hopefully, if you did put out a bowl and you said just take one, hopefully a kid didn't come in and just snatch the whole bowl. I've been seeing Ring camera videos across the globe, but today we're not talking about kids' bags of candy pumping. We're talking about Solana pumping. We got some great stories on that. We're going to talk about Bitcoin as well. We got some Alex Jones stuff, some Elon Musk stuff. So we got those alt-right figures we're going to talk about as well. And we got BJ and Kelly on this globe as we hurtle through space spinning 1,000 miles per hour. How are you two doing today?
I feel like I'm spinning 1,000 miles an hour on this globe, man. I just hope it doesn't slow down. I want this market to start spinning, and it looks like we had a great monthly close. We're going to be diving into some great charts. Incredible asset that I'm going to bring up that many of you may not have had your eye on. So stick around for that.
All right, BJ, how are you doing? You're not on the board too often, but we got some special technical things we're doing today. So how are you feeling?
I'm just crying inside, the usual.
He's crying inside. Well, he's crying inside. Can we share my screen real quick? There is an important caveat. Oh, God. I meant to fix that yesterday. We're going to fix that left side of the screen there.
No, just grab your left side and bring it over. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, but then it changes different things. But either way, no, Kelly, it's 1,000 miles at the equator. We're up here in Georgia, so we'll be a little bit slower.
942.6 miles. I got you. What's the Fibonacci on that?
Well, you know what? We got to get that 268 extension there. But guys, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. I'm ready to talk about the crypto markets, though. If we look at this, it is pumping, baby. It's up a little bit, overall, but I want to talk about just everything moving. All right, so I'm going to have to move this again one more time so we can see the top here. Come on down. All right, you see the market cap is up 0.6%. You can see 24-hour volume coming in at $56 billion. Bitcoin dominance, 51%. Net gas coming in at 26 Gwei. Let me go ahead and hit refresh because we had a little bit of a spike right before we went live. Did you guys see that? Kelly, did you care?
I did not see it. No.
Yeah, let me go ahead. Look at that little spike right there, folks. I don't know.
Yeah.
So nice little pump fake for just wreck some people. We want to wreck the people that are leverage trading there. So you open a long, you're feeling good. Oh, and then you're right back down into zero profit. Oh, you open a short, we're going to go ahead and liquidate you. Oh, you think a breakout's coming, you open a long. Oh, wow, you just got liquidated that way. So people feeling a little bit of pain in the markets, though. But looks like we've cooled back down. We're back down to normal, folks. All right, let me move it just a little bit more here for you folks there. All right, so let me zoom in here. So Bitcoin is up over 1% today. We have Ethereum, not quite as hot, but is up 0.8%. XRP up 1.5%. But the real story here, look at that Solana pump, folks. We are up above $40. Let's click on Solana here. There's no stopping this train. It's just going up and up and up and up. We go on the 7-day. Let me go ahead and warn you, folks. Warning. Last time there was some rejection around the $40 range, back in those that 2021 era there. So I am expecting a little bit of a cool down. I don't know if it's going to be $41, $42, $43, maybe right now, but I would expect some sort of battle of contention here with the bulls and the bears. I expect some people to be taking some profits here. But Tron also up 4%. Let's look at the biggest gainers. Let's look at the biggest losers here, folks. Chainlink down 3.1. That doesn't seem great. All right, here we go. Near Protocol said, hold on, Solana. Hold on, Injective. Hold on, Rollbit. I'm the biggest pumper today. Near Protocol up 16%, everybody. Is now up to rank 38 on CoinMarketCap there. Injective coming in at 12% there. Roll Bitcoin. Looks like they need to swap here, folks. 13% for Rollbit. You know what? I can't feel bad. I peeled off some Rollbit profits. The only thing I feel bad about, I put half of that into stablecoin. So the stablecoin, it doesn't look too stable. Sometimes I get 100% pump on a coin. I'll take a little bit of stablecoin profit in case it goes back down. I could buy in cheaper. But that stablecoin, hey, I haven't lost money on the stablecoin, just inflation, so just that 10% a year. All right. Also, Theta Network is up up 9.8. Neo is up 9.6. Thorchain and Graph also looking good. And Caspa's still hanging around a nickel. BJ, are you in Caspa at all? Have you looked at Caspa?
Not at all.
People do like it. I know there's a lot of people in the chat like it here. All right, now it's time to look at the biggest losers in the crypto market cap here.
Don't show my picture again, please.
Say what?
This is a joke. Never mind.
Okay. I have boomer ears, BJ, so I can't hear anything. Working in a bar. All right. BitTorrent is down 6%. Mina Protocol down 5% right there. Maker down 4.2%. And Gala down 4%. We did predict a pullback on Gala, so it's definitely playing out here. Cosmos Atom is down 3.5%. Chainlink down 3.1%. Any of these big movers shouting out at you, Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, looking over here on my screen, I like to use CoinGlass looking at this market watch also, because you can also see, like, even Solana, look at this, up 75% in volume in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin only up 15%. Chainlink down 30%. So you can start to really see where the interest lies for these different assets. And when it's almost like a great gauge of seeing where the capital flow is shifting to. We also see open interest on Solana up 30%. So it starts getting to the point where you start having to be a little concerned about what direction the assets may be moving based on this. Now, looking here on the big, what am I looking at here? The price movements. Near up 87% on volume. Wow. I mean, these things are, sushi's up 268%. I think we're going to be in for a little bit of a volatile day. I think don't be so impatient that you need to catch every move before it happens. Let some confirmations happen, because you'll see when we do TA here in a moment, there's going to be whipsaws, I think, in both directions, trapping people that are impatient, transferring money from those impatient hands to the patient hands. So that's what I'm seeing right now.
That's exactly what we saw, because you didn't even, I'm sure you kind of had this thought in your head this morning. You didn't see that there was a brief spike 10 minutes before we went live or whatever it was. So yeah, this is playing out exactly like Kelly's saying. So if you're trading, just be very careful out there. Have those tight stop losses. But remember, they're also going to stop loss hunt you. You just got to be careful out there, folks. But I think it's time for, let's talk a little Solana here. So Solana is pumping. I was pretty transparent. I bought more Solana over the weekend, and I even expressed hesitancy to you folks. I said, I am buying some Solana at these levels. I do feel like a pullback could be imminent, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling bullish. We're kind of breaking out. We may be in this mini, just kind of hunting for the next level of resistance there. And I've been playing it out. I've been riding it up. So the Solana play for me has been working out. I know a lot of you are fans of Solana here. I've been a fan of Solana. I was buying Solana under $20 for NFTs. I minted going on close to 2.5 years ago at this point. All right, Solana price reaches yet another yearly high. Is $60 within reach? Kelly, we might be asking you that question in a short bit. So it's increased rapidly for 3 consecutive weeks. Just yesterday, it was close to a 10% pump right there. Here is someone kissing someone's mind. They're giving them a mind virus, and then that mind virus is going to think, hey, crypto's going up forever, and then the bear market hits. All right, due to the increase, Sol broke out of its previous long-term horizontal resistance area of $28 right there. Last week, it broke out from that resistance area. This is a critical area since it's acted as resistance since it was down in November a year ago. After the breakout, new yearly high at the time of the article, $39.40. The pump just keeps happening here. Let's just go get the fresh data. It looked like it was right at $40.40, I believe. Now it is $40.82. It is moving up, baby. Solana just going up and up. Maybe we'll come back and check on it in a little bit. The RSI is giving a bullish reading. It looks like, so this is a momentum indicator to evaluate whether a market's overbought, oversold, and whether accumulate or sell an asset. So if the RSI is given a bullish reading, I'm guessing that is a very long-term, that's like a weekly or a monthly candle right there. Can we see? Yeah, it's the 1 week there. So it's the 1 week candle. And the RSI, I mean, they say that's bullish, but in the weekly, it is bullish. If you see a RSI spike like that in the 4 hour, expect a big cool down. But when you see RSI spike like that in a bull market, it can go irrational longer than you can remain solvent. I'll say that. All right. So positive sentiment for Solana is growing as well. We just talked about the open interest. We just covered that from Kelly. Pentoshi believes the price will face rejection around the level that we're at right now, and then gradually decrease towards $32. I took a little, you know what? I might scale in more. Maybe I'll deploy that USDC if we scale back down to 32. If the Solana upward trend continues, the next resistance area is around $60, and then another one around $80. And these targets are by the 261 and the 361 fib extensions. So there you go, Kelly. And additionally, they can be employed to identify the highest point of future upward movement. So the targets are 60% and 100% above the current price, respectively. So $60, $80, that's where they're looking for a little resistance there. But we teased a big partnership here. Now, BJ, what's your thoughts on the Solana phone? I'm wondering.
I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to work, right? I'm kidding. I don't know. I mean,
like Elon's rockets.
Well, there's a whole different question there. So whether or not they work, I don't think is the important part of the narrative. The fact that they're attempting to go in there for innovation, I think is actually pretty cool. Am I bullish on it? No. Am I bullish on the concept? Yes.
Yeah, I like that. And hardware is really hard. It's a lot more difficult than software. All right, Solana nodes. So we're talking about a partnership here. Solana nodes are now available on Amazon Web Services. So they introduced Solana nodes to its platform. I would say this is a pretty big company and a pretty good partnership there. So they've officially integrated the nodes into its offerings. This is part of their strategy to accommodate the increasing demands of the cryptocurrency and blockchain sectors. AWS, Amazon Web Services, that ended up being their most lucrative aspect when it comes to profits. And what a play right there. No one saw it coming. Microsoft didn't jump into that. Google didn't jump into that in a real way. IBM didn't jump into that in a real way. Oracle didn't jump into that in a real way. Jeff Bezos saw an opportunity. He took it and is paying off dividends years later. All right, so enhanced infrastructure for Solana developers here. The integration of the nodes on this provides developers with a robust and reliable infrastructure to deploy and manage their blockchain projects. Now, this is good news, but let me just give a dash of cold water here. We like to play both sides of a story here. I'm seeing a lot of people in the Cardano community essentially just making fun of this now. We're more decentralized than ever as we introduce Amazon as a partner. You run a Cardano node, BJ. So I would like to know, what is your take to that? Would you agree with that sentiment?
I'm not paying attention. I'll say it one more time.
So we have Cardano. The Cardano community is making fun of this partnership, saying, I'm running it from my basement. I'm true decentralization. This is just another step towards centralization. To them, a step in the wrong direction. Would you consider this a step in the wrong direction?
I do not want to FUD Cardano, but if you go on pooltool.io and look at where the majority of the pools are, they're on AWS. So
okay. So like calling the kettle black right there.
Unfortunately, mine are not, but a majority of them are.
And you know what, BJ? It's okay. You weren't able to put yourself in that window. We're not judging your technical director abilities.
No, somebody broke a bunch of stuff I'm trying to fix right now.
He has to remap everything, folks. All right. Notably, AWS currently hosts a quarter of all Ethereum nodes. And that might be a good metric to look at Cardano, just to see what the number of stake pool operators and then the number of the percentage of Cardano within the stake pool operators within that ecosystem. So with the dominant position on the cloud market, holding 34% of the global market share, it's evident that Amazon recognizes the importance of the crypto movement and its potential future impact, aka they see the compute power is going to be immense. They see that the network capabilities is going to be immense. Why not make a bunch of money off those dirty, shadowy hacker degens in the basement? All right, now, that's not the only partnership, folks. There's two. We're teasing two today. The other one, you kind of got to read between the lines, folks. Blockchain startup Etherfuse rolls out tokenized bonds in Mexico, targeting retail investors, targeting the second largest and most liquid bond market in Latin America. Number one is Brazil. So we're talking about not just El Salvador, nothing against El Salvador, not just random Pacific Island nation. We're talking about Mexico, our neighbor to the north, pretty large economy here. Fourth largest economy in the whole Western Hemisphere. Etherfuse, a platform attempting to improve decentralized blockchains infrastructure, unveiled Stable Bond at Solana's breakout conference in Amsterdam, tokenized bond offering to retail investors in Mexico. Targeting Mexico is the second largest bond market in Latin America after Brazil. The market most liquid in Latin America. So 2% of bondholders being Mexican. Etherfuse is attempting to change this by offering up stable bonds to retail investors. Stable bonds are built on Solana and are backed by the Mexican government, according to the press release. Now, it's hard to get details on this. Everything is in the press release. We're looking at the press release before we went live. Let me click on it. It's up here. So there's many pages here. Companies research. This is it. This is going to take us to a Google Drive document. We scroll through this. It's several pages. It's like over a dozen pages here. So it doesn't really say, we're using Solana. Solana's going to the moon because, hey, we're fusing Solana with Ether and all these things, and everyone's going to love it and everyone's going to use it. But we're digging into it. We're doing our research here. So this is a big press release just released here. So once we figure out the details, we're going to let you know. I'm feeling bullish about Solana and its partnerships here, though. I will say that. So, so what partnerships? Oh, just two little things called Amazon and the Mexican government. All right. Well, kind of not small. What do you think, Kelly?
I mean, it's also just like we brought up yesterday. We're seeing all those institutional inflows into the crypto ecosystem, and it's primarily Bitcoin, and the next one is Solana. There's actually institutional asset flows coming out of Ethereum currently, which is kind of interesting. I'm expecting that at some point to rebound, especially with the ETF information coming out and, you know, all the stuff on the horizon regarding Ethereum. But Solana has, I mean, 6 months ago, I would have told you to stay far away from Solana, but they're doing all the right things right now, and they're really making headway with their community. And let's be honest, the people that are really in the Solana community, it's a very strong community. I don't think the smartphone is really going to be the ticket for them, but all these partnerships and the headway that they're making, so long as we don't see another bull market where they start getting shut down every 6 weeks again, where they have to pause their chain, but they are moving in the right direction.
Are we nervous about Solana being ran by big tech? Are we in crypto to be for the people, by the people? It's a different. I'm not going to Solana for a coin that's for the people, by the people, and just is a freedom for decentralization, to bank the unbanked, and to throw away the power of the oppressors. I would buy Bitcoin for that. I would not buy Solana for that. I buy Solana to sell at a higher price, and occasionally some gaming, some NFTs, and I'm not just chain agnostic, where, I am somewhat of a believer in the ecosystem here, but at the end of the day, I think we're here for, financial freedom.
Yeah. Bitcoin is the asset that you're looking to for, the contrapoint to the way governments and monetary policy are run, whereas the rest of the crypto ecosystem is, for the most part, at this point, even still, speculative plays to make money so you can get more Bitcoin.
Yeah, and the last 2 coins that I bought is Aaron broke something. The last 2 coins that I bought, Cardano and Bitcoin. So I see here, Kelly, you hold Cardano, right?
Yeah.
Someone said, how about the Cardano's Hermanos? Can we be the Cardano's Hermanos?
Yeah,
BJ?
we can be the Cardano Hermanos.
You in? We don't have stake polls though, so I don't know if BJ will let us in.
I am the Cardano's Hermanos. There's a shirt.
Okay. Well, I just got done watching Breaking Bad, so I'm thinking of Pollos Hermanos. Maybe we can co-opt the logo or something there.
Sí, claro.
All right. Shout out to Gus Fring.
And what do we call steak pools for vegans? Are they tofu pools or?
What about for vampire killers? I don't know. There's all types of angles we can go there. All right. Let's see. Visa and so much more. Yeah, no, Solana's got a lot of partnerships, folks. All right. Let's talk about one more thing about this Etherfuse here. It's a platform attempting to improve blockchain infrastructure. They want to sell bonds to retail, the cartels. I'm just kidding. I don't know. They probably are in crypto though. Stable bonds. Here's the quote from the CEO of Etherfuse. Stable bonds mark an evolution in investment solutions. By marrying the traditional world of bonds with the innovation of blockchain, we're creating a secure and transparent tool for investors and are adding further stability to DeFi and blockchain products. So it seems like they're dotting the right I's and crossing the right T's there. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. All right, last Solana bit, and then we're going to go to the charts here. It's a little FUD here. All right, we're pumping up Solana. Now let's bring you back down to earth here. It's not $300 by the end of 2024. Part of that reason, scam Bankman-Fried. I heard he was in the studio yesterday. How'd that go? I wasn't here.
Well, I think he got lost in a pickle. Oh, no, a pickle got lost in... Never mind.
Cucumber.
Oh, that's
cucumber.
Right.
Yeah, he sat down on a beanbag with a cucumber. When he got up, it was gone. I don't know. All right, FTX. Let's talk about the bearish story here for Solana. FTX unstaked Solana worth millions. Is the Solana bull run in danger? Actually, is that why there's a Solana bull run? Who knows? But despite the bullish momentum, Nansen's latest tweet signaled trouble brewing on the horizon for Solana. Particularly, FTX has started to unstake Solana worth millions of tokens here. We do use Nansen. We like Nansen. It's great on-chain data. It's just a lot of them, but it's number one, or it's top 2, top 3 when it comes to NFTs for sure. The FTX funds continue to move to exchanges since our last update. Perp, True, Graph, Maker, Render, Matic, Ren, ETH, USDC here. So decent amount. It's not numerical order, right? It's 400,000, 100,000, 2 million, 500, 15, 10 million. So I wish that was in order there, so it'd be a little bit cleaner. In addition to $57 million worth of Solana. How old is this tweet? All right, so this is from yesterday morning. So in addition to $68 million worth of Solana, started the process of unstaking yesterday. At the time of writing, these funds haven't left the wallet, but if they do that, it will bring the total of Solana moved by FTX to just under 90 million. Today's price is probably right under 100 million. in addition to the $65 million worth of Solana, an additional the process of unstaking. Amidst that, the market's confidence also seems to have dwindled, but then the market just kept pumping it up to $40. All right, let's go back.
On that point, I think it's very important that we all realize anytime these conversations are had about any assets, from all the stuff that's happened, from Mt. Gox to BlockFi to Voyager, it's across the ecosystem. When we have these these discussion points of certain assets, oh, this is now going to be unstaked or unlocked and moot. You have to consider where we're at in the market cycle, because if we're, if we're in a trend that looks very bearish, if those things are going to be unstaked, very likely are going to be dumped. But people that are managing these accounts and the different actors that basically may get control or take over the capital control of those assets, if we're in a position where the market looks like it's about to explode, they're not going to unstake and then sell the large portion of those assets. So I think considering where we're at in the market, and we'll see here in the charts in a second, it's more likely, even though it may be unstaked, it might just be moving wallets to their own institutional control rather than going on to exchange to actually be sold.
Lito Calderon, I'm Mexican and I'm not buying Solana. No way. I call it no Lana. All right, I added that last part. All right, need warmer weather. We all need warmer weather. It was super, super cold. It's like something about when you're a kid and you're ready and like Halloween's coming. It's like a cold front would always come on Halloween, and you're like, oh, nope, you're going to be uncomfortable all night.
But with that, I got to ask, because me and DZ had not a debate, but interesting talking point earlier. He goes, are you guys cold? And I'm like, no, it's perfect temperature for me. What temperature do you guys like your houses to be? I like to keep my house about 65 to 68 degrees. And he's like, man, I want it 20 degrees warmer.
Yeah, it could be 20 degrees warmer
80.
in here. BJ, is it cold, warm, or just perfect like the porridge?
Anything below 70 is uncivilized.
Uncivilized. I'll take that.
Outside.
I'll take that. All right. Well, you know what's very civilized? The BitLab Academy. You go in there, you feel like an academic. You start wearing a monocle. You just carry around a leather book that you can scribe in occasionally. But you can also go in there and look at some charts, and that's what we need to do right now. What is going on with Solana? What is going on with Bitcoin? It looks like it did pull back a little bit. So the cool down maybe is beginning. What are you seeing, Kelly?
Absolutely. Well, before we get going, you said academic. Let's do roll call right now. All you BitLabbers out there, throw your lab coats in the chat. Let's look at Solana, and then we're going to dive into some Bitcoin. This is a Solana chart.
Hold on, before we get in, 66 degrees, 85 degrees. All right, that one. My house stays 65. 55. You're lying, Mark. You're lying. Oh, wait. No, Mark's the shark. He's swimming in Atlantic waters, and he's on the northern coast, so it's around 55 water there. All right. Well, yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Kelly, but 55 degrees. Get out of here. Just get out. Just get out. Just go stand outside.
Here's a Solana chart on the weekly, and to your point of that article, this is a great very short lesson for everybody. Looking here on the weekly, if we pull up the RSI, what we can see is RSI did push up above this center sort of 50 line, which is right about right here, but it fell back below it. And on this instance, where the price action and the strength pushed above 55, it tested 50. I said 55. It tested the 50 line, being above it on the weekly, and then this is where the price explodes. If we look at this, option V or control V, I don't know how to do that.
He's a maestro with that thing.
Yeah. There we go. We can see right on this retest of the 50 line, this is where basically the bullish sentiment was confirmed and price action really moved to the upside. Now, these are the levels just based on price action that I'm looking. If price action does break out, what do? We look left. This previous high and this high over here. This would be the right about the $46 level, which is only a few dollars above us. The next level up is $59. Next level above that, 80. Now you're talking about the Fibonacci zone. So if we do option F or alt F, if you're on PC, that to the bottom, you want to see previous price action if it lines up with any fib levels. And we see this level that they were calling out 60.
Smacking it like a spider line there.
Smacking it like a spider line. It's right on top of it. Basically $60 is a great target if we move to the upside. Now, the next level up, that $75, $80 region, but we got to really let Solana break out and go beyond this level first. I think we're in store for still a little bit of consolidation in the zone if things don't cool off, because we have the stochastics very high right here. So let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour on this and see if it says anything to us about what could be happening. Well, volume's coming up. Wonderful. We also see we have an order block right above our head right here in that $42 to $43 region. So let's just watch for that. Now, coming over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we got the new pool. Some of the weirdest names in the crypto market are the acronyms for on-chain charts, but this is the net unrealized profit and loss. And we are in this optimism/anxiety zone. And that's what a lot of people are feeling right now. They're not sure if these perma bears like Crypto Savvy and other people.
We like Savvy.
I like Savvy too. He's very convinced that it's still going to be breaking down. And we're going to see what the price action says. And we're pushing up right here. But what we do is we look left in this zone. Last time we moved into this, we had a pretty strong sell-off and we came back and tapped down in this capitulation zone. Back here in 2015 into 2016, though, we pushed up into it and then consolidated. So we have two different scenarios that we've seen in the past. What's going to happen here? Let me know in the chat right now. Do you think we are going to have that push up and above the 40,000 mark before the halving? I would say before the end of the year. Or do you think we're going to be consolidating?
Will we hit 40K before December 31st? I feel like on the short term, like kind of on the daily and the 2-day and the 3-day, we're kind of hitting some levels. Maybe a pullback's imminent here, but don't underestimate the power of vanishing Bitcoin from exchanges and then an illiquid supply. So you can't underestimate that, and Bitcoin could just rip faces when you least expect it here. Shout out to the Rubicons. Rubik, an old 4chan coin, really. Rubik is up 150%. Did you ever get into Rubik or look into Rubik? That was one. Up 155% today. So RBC, those people are they're eating today. They're eating today, unless you bought any time in the past. Whenever it's not up that much. But all right. Anything else? All right. So that was Solana.
We got the Solana Bitcoin. We got to talk. We got the FOMC. We got the FOMC meeting today. So we want to look at FOMC meeting, Federal Open Market Committee. They're determining whether or not we get that interest rate hike, pause, or reduction. It's about 98, 99%, depending on what time you're looking at this. This might have changed again, but it's up there. It's very more likely than not that we're going to get a pause. The question's going to be not at this point, really not if we're going to get a pause, a cut, or a hike, but it's going to be what are the talking points at 2:30. And by the way, everybody, we are going live at 2 p.m. today here on Discover Crypto with DZ, myself, and Joshua Jake. We're going to be talking this through. And the question here is going to be, what do the markets price in? And this is considering traditional markets and Bitcoin. So if we're talking about traditional markets, we've talked about this a bit the last couple of days, and let me actually make this smaller so you can see it. This correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market has dropped precipitously. We've also seen it on this chart. Is this going to sustain, or is this an indicator that Bitcoin may be pulling back? Well, let's go to the Bitcoin chart and see what it is telling us today. We still have this massive bull pennant. And on that, if we come down to the 1-hour chart, actually, you can see exactly that pump that you were talking about. Look at this. I talked about this on the BitLab morning stream just before this at 10 a.m. Watch for whipsaws in both directions. Look at this massive pump up. And this was on like a 15-minute candle. Look at this massive pump up. Trap people to the upside into the order block zone on the BitLab indicators, telling you this was likely an area of resistance. Push back down. Now we're trapping liquidity to the downside. And so I think we're going to see a bit more of this through that 2 o'clock and then also through that 2:30 when the press conference happens. So I would argue that today, right now, for anybody that's not a professional trader, let the trend determine itself, because we're going to see this across a lot of assets today going into that 3 p.m. timeframe. Now, the best asset that most people have missed, you wouldn't believe it, but it's orange juice. Look at this. Orange juice up 350%.
What about orange boys? Shout out to O.J. Simpson. Shout out to Tropicana. Shout out to everybody in Florida.
That's right. Eating. Orange juice pushing up. Global liquidity's rounding out here. So I do think we're still set up for some absolute bullishness. And just remember, this is a monthly chart. We had a great monthly close, and we're coming up on that halving. If we want, I'm just going to throw out some hope real quick. If we do a Fibonacci, just real quick hopium for everybody. Come on, do me a Fibonacci. You can do it. There we go.
Quit fibbing me here.
I'm going to fib you.
Quit fib me
So
in
from
my
the top to the
Nazi.
bottom, we've seen that area up above the 2.618 in the past previous cycles. So we still have a lot of work to do, but I do think we're going to be getting up above the hundreds sometime next year. So let's be patient with all the noise we're getting pre-halving. Don't trade away your capital. That's all I got right now. We can get back into the news.
There will be a basement today, right? People are wondering.
Basement's at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock to 1:45, and then we're doing the FOMC meeting. We're gonna just be us talking Jerome Powell during it. No, we're gonna be talking through it.
Catch them all, and almost want to ask BJ about a correlation question here. Correlation of 1 means stock market Bitcoin correlation, or correlation of 1 means they move in perfect unity, perfect lockstep. A correlation of 0 means they go in the opposite. Something goes up, something goes down. Well, BJ, isn't a correlation of 0.5 more volatile or harder to predict than a correlation of 0?
Yeah, because I don't know the
It's
answer,
like an inverse.
but I'm assuming at that point you're quote unquote not doing a traditional correlation, so it would be more unpredictable.
Yeah, there's a bunch of math degree people like, I think about that too. Here we have a great question I want to save to the end of the show. Catch them all, who will be here next week, I think Wednesday, Thursday. What is the next coin that pumps after Solana? A lot of people are going to be wondering, what is the next Solana? Meaning, when I hear what is the next Solana, I'm thinking a top 15 coin, top 20 coin, maybe even top 10 coin that's going to pump because, maybe some people taking some Solana profits. I think the main two candidates, and I'll explain why, XRP and Cardano, why they're both in the top 10 along with Solana. Secondarily, there are these alt future-based ETFs. There's these alt investment portfolios that you can buy. So Grayscale, it's not just a futures Bitcoin, they're not just applying for a spot Bitcoin here. They have ones where it's a basket of alts. And so when they have those basket of alts, the coins that they have in there, you see a lot of Solana, you see a lot of XRP, you see a lot of Cardano. I'm wondering if you see some other, I wonder, do you see BNB or they stay away because of Binance,
I don't know
China?
why I'm thinking Avalanche. Based off of nothing.
Avalanche? I like Avalanche. All right,
Literally
so we got
based
a
off
prediction. I'm biased here, and I know I'm biased. I'm in the midst of hammering out this Cardano script. We're probably going to shoot it later today. I'm going to say Cardano, but I'm telling you I'm biased. We have BJ saying Avalanche. I say that's a really good choice as well. What do you think the next coin, a big, strong, top 20 contender coin that will pump?
It's hard to say. I mean, the top 10 developer activity I saw as of October 30th was Cardano. I can't remember all of them. Cardano, Aptos, Hedera, Avalanche, IOTA was in there. I could not believe that in the top 10 of developer activity. So surprising that they're still making moves. But there were, if anybody wants to know how quick this market moves, IOTA was one of those top contenders back in 2017, 2018, and it's for the most part fallen off the map. So shout out to anybody that's been holding through all this.
Cosmos, good
Cosmos.
I like Cosmos.
Cosmos is in the middle of breaking out of a 2-year trend line too. So it's a good thing to watch out for. We talked about that, by the way. If you are a BitLab member, if you're not, become a BitLab member, but we're doing daily streams, breaking down charts and showing trade setups every day in most days in the BitLab Discord. So hop in there.
A lot of people saying Litecoin. Cosmos by Eric Carlson. Shout out to Eric Carlson. If you see him in there, maybe click on there and go follow his channel, folks. All right, let's talk a little Bitcoin here. And then we're going to talk Gary Gensler. And then we're going to talk Drew's favorite American, Alex Jones. I'm just joking. I don't think that's his favorite American, folks. All right, it's probably Alexander Hamilton.
Alejandro Jones.
It's who would, let's ask Drew that later on. I'm interested to know. It's going to be Ted Kaczynski. I'm joking. It's not that guy.
No.
All right. Whoa, too soon. All right. Bitcoin price surge to $35,000. Triggers over $1.5 billion in profit taking. So amid the volatile market conditions, we're seeing some intriguing patterns here. The analysis showed that Bitcoin's price level of 35K is acted as short-term resistance with a surge in profit taking around this time. But interestingly, it's not really among the long-term holders. The long-term holder selling appears to be minimal, accounting for a mere 100 million of the 1.5 billion there. This indicates a level of steadiness in the market amid shorter-term turbulence. Or also saying the whales aren't ready to start dumping just yet. They're getting ready for it, though. Deribit had a whole bunch of capital inflows, the largest since the Luna debacle. So we're looking at, about 16, 17 months right there. So Deribit coming back on and coming back in a strong way here, folks. So big shout out to that exchange over there. All right, now I don't want to do the correlation. We just talked a little correlation here with the liquidity injections and the price of Bitcoin. So this is the Bank of China. China has always played a pivotal role in Bitcoin's price. It's not something that we really talk about that much. Wasn't something that was really on my radar as strong as it should have been. And I give a big shout out to Cryptos R Us, George, really exposing what F2 Pool, their impact on the price of Bitcoin, really shed a lot of light on that. In my mind, I knew, well, there's mining, there's, they dump on you, but then sometimes there's groups of miners and it's like, it's a subgroup of super whales. So it's like the mega whale here. I just didn't know how impactful it was until, I guess, late 2020, early 21. All right, so Bank of China, their liquidity injections into the market have been observed to coincide with significant movements in Bitcoin's price, and we're seeing more and more of that. So they expanded their balance sheets by over 7% in a year, and equates to approximately 5.8 trillion in Chinese yuan. The multifaceted dynamic illustrates, okay, there's a bunch of word salad here. I'm going to say it. The multifaceted dynamic illustrates the intricate relationship between traditional financial systems and the evolving digital currency environment.
Somebody's getting paid per word.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason. Okay, it's like, well, DZ can't understand big words. No, it's not a big word thing. It's just when you're communicating that verbally, it just doesn't really play that well as when you keep it in a middle school reading level and below. There's a reason, like even the New York Times or the Washington Times or New York Post, they keep it at a certain level there. So you got to try a little harder. Put down the thesaurus, author.
It reminds me of that old Friends episode with Joey when he has to write a letter of recommendation.
Yeah.
And he uses the thesaurus on every single word.
Yeah, that's a good one. We were talking about Friends earlier. They're showing a lot of Friends. They're pushing Friends because of Chandler Bing. Forget his real name. What's Chandler Bing's real name? Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, yeah.
Yeah, Matthew Perry. Shout out to Matthew Perry. My second favorite Friends character. My favorite Friends character is Ross.
Oh, my God.
Type in who's your favorite Friends character. BJ.
Ross, for sure.
Who's your favorite character? Me and Kelly or Ross?
Phoebe's chaos.
Phoebe is one. All right, so I watched it as a child. I was in like middle school. But then when I rewatched it as an adult, I think in my mid to late 20s, I definitely appreciated Ross and Phoebe a lot more.
But it's the interplay. The interplay between the characters is really what makes it. Just like Seinfeld. They're all individually interesting, but it's the interplay, it's just like when we're looking
all
at
right,
these
so
shows.
R.I.P. Matthew Perry. Yeah, let us know. Never watched the show, but then the very next comment, best show ever. So yeah, people are on all over the place. The Friends is better. Office is better than the Friends. Joey, only funny character. Ross, Joey. Okay,
it's
Joey's
an interesting sort of thought. This is cultural. When we were kids, I feel so old saying this, but when we were kids, everybody would understand culturally certain cultural significant things like different shows because there was primetime shows you had to watch at a certain time and there was a limited number of them. And now we have all these different streaming services and so many hundreds or thousands of different shows. You could watch a show that's the best thing you've ever seen in the history of your life and nobody in your circle would have ever heard about it.
Yeah, and you had to watch it then, but then DVRs came out and then streaming apps came out. But yeah, if you missed the show 7 p.m. on Tuesday, you have to wait for a rerun like during the summer, like 8 months later. All right, let's talk about BlackRock here. Speaking of the heat here, and speaking of heating up, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF might have trading support of heavyweights like Jane Street, Jump, and Virtu. What have we said about BlackRock, Jane Street, Vanguard? They all own each other. So you'll see what percentage of Jane Street is owned by BlackRock, and then what percentage of BlackRock is owned by Jane Street? And you look at those numbers, you're like, seems like a logic fail. It reminds me of the car where the troll physics where you have a pole with a magnet in front of your car. And you're like, that should work. Oh, wait, it won't work. Wait a minute. It's just something about this is wrong. Something about that is wrong. Shout out to troll physics. I used to love that. All right. So trading giants Jane Street, Jump, Hudson, others have held talks with BlackRock about a market-making role, according to a BlackRock slide deck reviewed by a person familiar with the matter. So we got inside info from their little slide deck there, kind of breaking down their offering. Market makers are vital to ETFs. They're responsible for creating and redeeming new shares of an ETF, a role designed to keep the price tethered to the price implied by the value of the ETF holdings. You see a spike. We talk about the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust discount there. A market maker can come in and kind of fix that. Solana passed 41. Well, we just checked. It looked like it started to cool down. Maybe it's going in the opposite direction.
I got the chart up. Yeah, it had a quick little pump up to 41.84. Wow. And then, it's quick. Quick,
Can we show the 1 minute chart? I like that, or 20-second even. Okay, the 1 minute chart. All right, now we're. Oh, look at that. Is that a little scam lick right there? Look at that volume candle on the bottom. Loving it. Hudson, how are you doing, Hudson? Hudson doesn't really appear on camera, folks, but he's always behind the scenes making things break. No, I'm just kidding, Hudson. We love you. Hudson's great. Oh, Hudson, I have a treat for you, Hudson. Can you go on camera? This is important. This is for the kids here. Hudson, on my desk, I have 4 more packs of Pokemon cards for your 2 kids to enjoy. So if you want to give them the 4 Pokemon packs, that's for them.
Wow, thanks, DZ. I like Pokemon.
2, because BJ wants to take from your kids.
Yes.
Okay, so
they're young.
that's
They're not
between y'all.
broken yet.
It's between y'all. All right, let's talk about Gensler here and his ridiculous observation. All right, Gensler's Satoshi joke sparks fiery response from Ripple's legal ace here. I want to show the tweet here. So let's actually look at the tweet first. What was the tweet? If Satoshi went as Satoshi for Halloween, would we be able to tell? Happy 15th anniversary to Satoshi's famous white paper that started crypto. And then here it comes. Any crypto companies that are tricking investors should start treating them to compliance with the securities laws. So people are like, all right, you're sitting here trying to use Satoshi, and then you just kind of sneak in like your backhanded compliment there. Well, Gary Gensler's lighthearted remark garnered sharp criticism from Stuart Alderoide, Ripple's top lawyer. He slammed his nemesis for making a bad Halloween joke. In a swift retort, he criticized him. He pointed to the fact that the chairman is making jests on social media while his agency is allegedly bypassing Congress for certain regulatory actions. I wouldn't say it's allegedly. They're clearly bypassing Congress. They're ruling by enforcement and changing. We just did a Elon versus SEC video. It isn't out yet. We detail how they changed the rules of the game in the middle of the game. All of a sudden, you're playing football, and then someone gets 9.5 yards on first down, and it's like you say, timeout. First down is now 20 yards. Yeah. You're like, well, we're in the middle of a down. I feel like, we got close to the completion zone, and you're like, whoa. I didn't expect it to be that popular. I didn't expect it to be that good. That's how I feel SEC is treating Bitcoin, treating cryptocurrencies here, treating stable coins specifically. I would say the best use case for crypto is stable coins, and they don't like that. They do not like that.
DZ, I saw this tweet, and I retweeted it and suggested, pull this up, BJ. And this is
Tell me how to live my life.
What's that?
Tell me how to live my life.
No, but I pointed out here, I said, Gary Gensler, if you want to talk about fraud, let's make sure to tag all your buddies in banking and traditional finance.
Gary.
96 fines accounting for nearly $40 billion in fines since the year 2000. This is for banks, traditional banks. So where's the fraud case here? Really? Let's talk about it.
Well, it's like when they say, this terrorist group, use crypto for 0.2% of their illicit activities. And then you pull some out and you're like, well, what about that thing? Oh, well, that was like 90% of the fraud. We're like, well, what are we talking about crypto then for? Why are we talking about crypto? And then when you see those things, you're like, well, what's making up that missing percent? Or like people just giving sliver of gold bars, like, hey, do this thing, here's some precious metals. I guess it's precious metals. I'm 15x long from $37 on Solana using Apex Pro. My man. Throw
in your stop loss and raise it as it goes so you don't end up getting reversed and make nothing, or put a trailing stop loss if you can.
There you go. All right. Well, we always talk about Eric Balchunas, the senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg. He weighed in and said, there's no read on this from us, saying attributed his remark to regulatory humor, yet he noted the significance of the chairman having cryptocurrency topics at the forefront of his mind. He's sitting there, he's brushing his teeth, he's thinking Bitcoin. He wakes up, he's thinking Bitcoin. He goes to bed, he's thinking of Caroline. Hey, all right, let's, so we showed the tweet there. Yeah.
What do you think? What was the tipping point from all those conversations he had that were positive around Bitcoin and the crypto ecosystem, Algorand, the positive comments he made?
What was the point at which he switched?
At which all of a sudden,
when his paycheck came from the U.S. government.
Yeah. The foot was on his throat by somebody paying his bills.
Look, I'll say this, and I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't know the guy. I don't know anyone who's been there, but it's my guess here, and it's an educated guess just by looking at how the world works and just my past observations. I feel like an SEC chair goes in there, and then there's certain forever bureaucrats who say, here's what we're concerned about, and you need to be concerned about that as well. Is there a problem? And if you're a smart person, you say, nope, no problem, not at all. And then there's probably someone, while this talk is happening, there's someone in the back of the room sitting in the dark, slowly smoking a cigarette, and you can't see the face. You just see like a
Dick Tracy hat
cherry,
silhouette.
Yeah, you see the cherry of the cigarette light up, and you're like, you kind of keep glancing at that guy. You're like, you want to ask who that guy is, but you don't want to ask who that guy is. And that's how I picture it happening, because they have very strong anti-money laundering laws, and they have very strong concerns about being able to track you, surveil you. And I think the intelligence agencies want to keep tracking and surveilling you. They don't want you to be able to move cryptocurrency without their knowledge.
Obfuscation at the highest levels. I can't say that word.
Obfuscate. Yeah, they're obfuscating top down here. He goes to bed thinking about Elizabeth Warren in a certain Halloween costume. Maybe. You even trade, bro? I haven't traded lately, Candle Daddy. Maybe he's talking about Gary. I don't know if Gary, I think he's pretty wealthy. He's the youngest VP of Goldman Sachs in its history. So he's a good trader. He's a better trader than me, if I had to guess. It's like I guess they're talking about Gary Gensler. He's like a single guy in his 40s hanging out at Chuck E. Cheese for the pizza vibes. Yeah, pizza vibes, cheese pizza. All right, let's talk about SEC here. SEC failed to follow the Congressional Review Act. I would say did break the law, but what do I know? They may have broken the law here. So they needed to submit its controversial crypto accounting rule for congressional review prior to publishing the bulletin. So this is just another example of ruling through enforcement, not ruling through the supposed legislative process, which is we're all, privy to here. So it was first issued in March of last year, and it said that the crypto assets of bank customers should be held on the balance sheet of banks, but it never should have been issued without congressional review first due to its falling under the criteria of rule. If you deposit $100 to a bank, do you think the bank has to hold $100? Well, BJ, they used to have to hold what? $1, $2?
10%.
10. Oh, it was 10. Yeah, 10%.
So back in the day, they used to have to, all right, you give them $1. Back in the day, they had to keep a dime. And what do they do with the 90 cents? They try to turn that 90 cents into 91 cents. Sometimes it works. Usually it does work.
Yeah,
today, though, the rules change. BJ, I give you $1. You're the bank. What do you have to hold? And when did that happen?
Well, as of March 26, 2020, when everybody was talking about something else, it became 0%. So the game of rehypothecation went into God mode.
But what they want to do is if you hold my Bitcoin for me, you must hold it, which would then lower your interest in holding Bitcoin. You say, oh, well, if you give me cash, I could play with it. I turn your dollar into $1.02 and I give you the dollar and I keep the 2 cents. But if you give me Bitcoin, I just got to sit on it and hold it like an idiot. I can't make money off of you. That's just going to deter people. It's going to deter banks from offering crypto services. So it is exactly what it appears. They want to stop you from holding crypto.
If you also consider how deep the shell game goes, if you wonder why, traditional banking is so slow to send money, or if, for instance, if you transfer between accounts or send overseas, it's not because it's slow. We've all used the internet. We know how fast this stuff goes. It's because they have holds on there so they can still make money on your money for a period of time before they have to send it over.
All right. Well, speaking of sending over, our U.S. Treasury has to send over some money, folks. Let's look at the numbers here. We're talking about Janet Yellen here. And the Treasury, they're going to borrow some funds. How much? $776 billion for October, November, and December here. So it's a closely watched announcement here. They said they'll be looking to borrow almost a little bit over $750 trillion there. They expect to borrow 816 in Q1 2024 there. And they just borrowed $1 trillion in the recently ended quarter there, the highest ever for that quarter. But you know what? Let's go. I'm not even going to get into it. Let's just focus on home, folks. I just want to focus on home. All right. CFTC awards $16 million to U.S. whistleblowers. Most tips were crypto related here. Well, that's interesting, actually. So the regulates derivatives markets in the U.S. and they paid out $16 million to the whistleblowers. And of the 1,500 tips, most of them involved crypto. This year's payout included $15 million to just 2 whistleblowers who provided information and assistance that led to the CFTC to bring 2 successful enforcement cases here. So
I feel like this is shaped, though. This is biased because it also is determined based on which subjects or which cases the CFT or government bodies choose to go after and investigate. So it could have been different had there been a different focus on where to get the, you know what I mean? Where to identify where the issues really are and look into it. So,
well, here's the thing. All right, so let me copy their language here because I want to make sure. All right, so whistleblowers revolve around crypto illegality. That's a keyword right here. Illegality. Oftentimes you'll see a bank and they'll pay $1 billion fine. And what's important in that fine, there'll be no mention of illegality. There'll be no at fault. And that's a very important part for these corporate lawyers. They'll say, look, all right, instead of us paying $400 million and saying we're guilty, we'll give you $500 million and then say we're not guilty. They will choose the $500 million and then not guilty. They'll pay an extra $100 million to not be liable for future damages in a civil court and the undetermined future there. And so we're just seeing that right there. It's banks. All right, so crypto company, what are they going to get? They're going to get a fine. You were doing something illegal. What do you think BlackRock? What do you think BlackRock? What do you think that situation's like with JP Morgan? What do you think that situation is like with Goldman, Gary Sachs here? He calls up Goldman Sachs. He's like, ho, 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 you violated and expect lawyers and enforcement officers at your doors in the next 10 minutes. No, they're calling him up and he's like, hey, buddy, you know that one form? Yeah, man, if you could have just like crossed that T a little bit differently, like that would be so epic, bro. Do you mind like refiling that? And then his buddy's like, yeah, bro, you got it, man. So sorry. I'll tell you what, will I still see you at that fundraiser, $10,000 a plate? Oh, next Tuesday, you got it. That's how that's going to play out. It's not going to be the same way they treat a crypto company. Just look at Elizabeth Warren's rhetoric when it comes to that. She works very closely with the banks that stole billions of people in post-Dodd-Frank. But boy, crypto, shadowy hackers, all bad. We're helping terrorists. All right, let's move forward here. One segue to another here. We're going to talk about Alex Jones. Failed Bitcoin challenge sees Alex Jones lose 10,000 Bitcoin. Can you do the math on that real quick? Pull out the calculator. 10K at today's price. What is today's price? All right, we're going to figure out what is the monetary value because even if this article is like 3 hours old, it's going to be out of date here. So the value, Bitcoin, when he got it, it rocketed over 730 million% since being first traded on the exchange in 2009. All right, yeah, this was a niche technology. Well, among the uninformed is Alex Jones, who had the opportunity to win 10,000 Bitcoin by correctly answering 5 questions in a Bitcoin quiz set up by Max Kaiser. He failed to answer a single question correctly, highlighting the general degree of Bitcoin illiteracy among the public here. When was this? It was a long time ago. I kind of remember him talking about people trying to give him Bitcoin. He just turned it down. Kaiser visibly disappointed after Jones fumbled the first question here. The disappointment continued as Jones racked up successful pass. You lost this quiz already. You can't even get a simpler question than that, he exclaimed after Jones passed on the first question. Questions were straightforward and simple. Here's the questions. How many Bitcoin will ever exist?
21 million.
How often does the difficulty adjust?
About every 2 weeks. I think it's like 1,680 blocks.
Yeah. It roughly is every 2 weeks. I don't remember the exact date. What's the core hashing algorithm called? BJ?
I always want to say SegWit, but I think it's SHA-256.
But that's wrong, right?
Yeah, I was throwing it out. Say what?
Is it SHA-256?
I believe so. I believe so.
I thought that was a security.
How often do new blocks form on average?
On average, every 10 minutes, but sometimes can be as it's been shorter and longer, which is why everybody says there's not an exact date for halving. It's roughly about every 10 minutes, which is projected to be about April 15th.
And then is Craig right?
No, it's 210,000 blocks is every halving, by the way.
No. So the year, this was 2013. It'd be interesting to see what date that is. So 2013, what was Bitcoin's price in 2013?
It's 342 million at today's prices, just so
342 million in 2013. We're going to go to the max here's live look here. 2013. All right, so it started 2013. All right, so the data here just goes to April. Started $135, end of the year right at, and I don't even know if you can't see it. End of the year, February, December 11, close enough. End of the year, $878. I'm assuming it was closer to the lower end, not the higher end. So how would that feel? How would that feel?
That would be basically be 8 million to 342 million if we're doing it from the highs of that year. If we're doing it from the lows, it was, I can't remember. I just did it a second ago. The lows would be 1.35 million.
Oh my God.
That's almost as big of the gain as orange juice.
You know what? He didn't care. He did give him the 10K. He did give him the 10K because I have heard Alex Jones talk about the story. I haven't heard the details here. This is nuts. So he revealed Kaiser, anyways, still gifted him 10,000 Bitcoin on a laptop.
It makes me wonder how many Bitcoin that Max Kaiser may have. If he gave away 10,000 before and he's about to give away potentially, he probably knew he wasn't going to have to, but another 10,000. I mean, you got a little excess in Bitcoin if you're just dropping 10K here and there.
I would say this is similar to Balaji's tweet, Bitcoin's going to 1 million. Balaji knew it wasn't going to go to 1 million, but Balaji has so much Bitcoin, a 10% price movement for him probably is above $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's my guess here, if he could give Alex Jones that 10K Bitcoin and then he got addicted to price swings, he would then move the price of Bitcoin strong enough where he would more than make up the 10K.
So it was a cost of marketing.
It was the cost of marketing. Yeah. He pays a 5% marketing cost to pump the rest of the 95% of his bag, and then it makes up more than a 5% gain there. Well, according to Jones, he was handed a laptop that contained 10,000 Bitcoin. At the time, $8 million. And he was told Bitcoin was the future of money. Well, unfortunately, Jones, who's a self-proclaimed alcoholic, later reported that he lost the laptop there. He's also said, well, I'm kind of R-word. I don't want to say it there. It offends some people. Jones fumbling two chances to gain 10K is significant. 10K Bitcoin is significant as it highlights the early ignorance of Bitcoin's potential. All right, so what is that altcoin? That's like, you give it away today and people are just going to sleep on it. 10 years later, they're going to be kicking themselves. What's you wish you would have bought 10 years from now altcoin?
Dash. No, I'm just joking. I'm totally joking.
I got to say something besides Cardano. If I said something besides Cardano, you know what? I like File as far as low cap gems. BJ, do you have one?
Probably ADA or more ADA.
More ADA. All right. Well, yeah, that's quite the story right there. I feel bad for Alex Jones. Well, the SIM swap scam looks like it has a conclusion, not a final conclusion here, but Florida man, what is up with Florida man? Florida man's everywhere, man. Sometimes you see him eating people in intersections. Sometimes he wrestles gators. Well, this time he was part of a group that stole close to $1 million in crypto and SIM swap attacks. And he just got 30 months in jail, according to the Register. Jordan Prasad. And he was incident group assessing the account of an Arizona resident and stole $28,000 of crypto there. Then they split it amongst themselves. Online, he made about almost $500,000. Altogether, the gang defrauded close to $1 million. He's been ordered to pay back, $945,000 in restitution there. The attack bears striking similarities to cybercrime known as Scattered Spider. This group began illegal activities last year with SIM swapping and phishing attacks before graduating to ransomware and extortion, man. Those countries' intelligence agencies, they got to get they get unmarked black cash there, right? Tether attestation shows cash and cash equivalents rose to 85.7%. All the Tether FUD seems to be a little bit, just as time goes on, seems like it's not going to play out. I don't see the Tether collapse happening anytime soon. Of course, this is crypto, anything can happen. But per the report, cash and cash equivalents stood at almost 86% as of September 30th. Of this, the largest percentage, US T-bills, which were in both direct and indirect exposure there. Tether's Bitcoin and gold holdings has also increased, so the gold holdings have increased significantly. Notably, the issuer says the investments do not constitute part of the stablecoin's reserves. This is part of their profits that they invest. What's your thoughts on Tether? I'm going to share a little tweet in a little bit.
I think it has such a substantial market share. I don't really think it's going anywhere. And in fact, there's a lot of data. A lot of people don't look at it, and I don't know why. Even like on the whale chart Twitter account, they're showing even right now that there's been a ton of basically USDT inflows to exchanges, Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, which can be presumed in some ways as likelihood, or at least a strong potential, especially coming into a volatile day like today, that maybe some buying pressure is coming in because dry powder is moving on to exchanges to buy. But in terms of the long-term sort of viewpoint on Tether, again, the market share is so large and there are enough people behind it. The only thing I can see regulating it away is regulating it away because of this discussion around CBDC. So there is concern there. But again, the market share is so strong, I think it's going to basically push through it.
Yeah, I got 2 killer sentences from Omid Malikan. Yesterday, Matt Levine, he's pretty big follow on there. He has about 300 followers. Tether is going to be an incredibly interesting story, but I still don't know what it is. How about killer sentence right here? Tether is the most successful product and company in crypto. The U.S. government killed its competitors and is now paying it billions a year in interest. Sums it up right there. So, the U.S. government paying them billions annually here. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. We got Sega. I think Sega's doing something here. All right, let me, I think it's over here. Tron quietly becoming leading blockchain for stablecoin transfers. Justin, man, he's got to move them around, right? Saga. I thought it was Sega. Saga launches. I literally asked, I'm not going to say his name. I said, Sega, the game company? He's like, yeah. No, Saga. All right, Saga. Saga launches Pegasus incentivized testnet for Web 3.0 gaming ecosystem. I can see why you thought it was Sega. All right, so it's a layer 1 protocol, and it's has announced a new introduction, incentivized testnet known as Pegasus, milestone for the project there. So Saga, nice little milestone for them. Also, we have Ethereum mainnet reclaims dominance from the layer 2s. L2 throughput sinks 32% in 6 weeks. As gas fees come back, we'll see more L2s. I think ETH is just exciting, so people are just probably want to get more exposure there. But I expect that to reverse at some point. Vitalik indicates what is next for L2s and bridges there. So if you don't know, this is the Ethereum founder right there. If you don't know, be careful Googling his images. He attempted to make a simplified classification of L2s on top of the Ethereum and proposed 2 elegant designs to make L1, L2 bridging more secure and resource optimized. In 2023, there are 3 types of L2 solutions dominating the system: rollups, validiums, and disconnected system. While rollups store data on L1, validiums use servers and rolls verify data fraud, while validiums only support ZK snarks. But the 2 factors are dominant when it says come to choosing this or that L2 design to build on. All right, we don't want to get too into the weeds of L2 building there, but L2, L1 will be a stronger and stronger narrative moving forward here. I kind of want to just jump to, is Arbitrum the uncrowned king of layer 2? It's Matic. I don't see that changing anytime soon. You too?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there'll be other projects that eat away at the market share, but Matic's it's so substantially set in the space, and just the list of partnerships Matic has is, it's incredible. Look it up if you haven't. I mean, Disney, Adidas, Nike. I mean, the list is ridiculous.
Starbucks, all the Zed stablecoin is decentralized. I've long talked about Zed, and me and BJ have long talked about Cody. You still have your Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Did you buy more when it got real low?
I think I bought more Charlie instead.
C3. Shout out to C3. Shout out to the JPEG junkies. We did a big C3 airdrop at the time. We were trying to educate people about Cardano DeFi and setting them up to stake Cardano. We did a little Cardano airdrop. We did a little C3 airdrop. And we gave every JPEG junkie the chance to stake tokens on Cardano DeFi. Well, at the time of that release, all those tokens are down, folks. It was the wrong time of the year to do it, but I still feel good. JPEG junkies, we were pushing the ADA DeFi ecosystem early. So people like to hate on the junkies, but you know what? The junkies just going to stay junking, folks. All right. Speaking of junkies, we have the previous pot smoker on that other pot smokers podcast here, but now they're talking about NFTs, criticizing NFTs. They're just URLs. It's 20 seconds. Let's listen to the man here.
But I mean, NFTs. The funny thing is that the NFT is not even on the blockchain. It's just
the
audio to the JPEG. So it's not even like, it's like you should at least encode the JPEG in the blockchain, because like if the company housing the image goes out of business, you don't have the image anymore.
All right, he does bring up a good point. It gets into the little bit of the weeds of IPFS, interplanetary file system. Are you excited yet?
Shout out Beastie Boys.
Intergalactic. So it's just a server kind of holding everything, not the chain holding everything. You see with a Bitcoin ordinal. Ordinals, wouldn't exist in the Bitcoin node network, but you could pull it up anytime you want. But IPFS, here's the important point. He says something that is really not that accurate. Well, if this company goes down, every JPEG is then failed. IPFS operates more like the Bitcoin network, a bunch of independent node operators. So it isn't if, oh, this one thing goes down, it's like, well, if the whole global network of decentralized nodes goes down, which is, not something that's super likely. So that's my only pushback there. I think Farouk had a pretty good, there's a couple clips of this floating around. So I don't know. I haven't listened to the whole thing. Have you two listened to it yet? It's a pretty good podcast. The last one was the first JRE podcast I had watched in like probably 5 years. I think it came out 5 years ago. Here we have the 10 best on-chain NFTs that insiders love. If that freaks you out, whoa, what do you mean my NFT isn't on-chain? Well, we have some on-chain NFTs. They do exist here. So one, CryptoPunks. Most notable example of an on-chain NFT. They created these 24 by 24 pixel images. Nouns. All right. Shout out to the nouns. Cryptodes, Anonymice. And then it's going to be the older. ENS. DZ.eth. You two have an ENS?
No, I
should get
read it. Well, I do, but I don't. I'd never log into it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk Simpsons here. Bart as an NFT, not Bart Pattern. But we are talking Bart Simpson. Springfield's Digital Haunt and Treehouse of Horror. I remember them talking about this coming up. So it's going to be coming out November 5th. So this Sunday, Treehouse of Horrors episode is going to feature NFTs in the Simpsons annual special. Fans eagerly await this episode here. So let's see where they say NFTs. So it'll be interesting to see. What do you think it's going to be? Are they going to celebrate it or are they going to dunk on it? I think they're going to dunk on it, but it'll be fun, right?
Yeah.
Did you like Simpsons? Did y'all like Simpsons as a kid?
Yeah, I watched. I mean, it's amazing that it's still around. I think at this point, it's the longest running show, right?
Longest running animated show in history.
But
they passed Flintstones like 10 years ago.
Everybody knows that they've been known for like having these sort of predictive things that happen within their episodes that
and then it gets faked.
But
then they'll make like fake ones and say it's real. So, but it is pretty interesting. Yeah, it might be the longest running sitcom of all time. The longest running current TV show is 60 Minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe someone fact check me on that. All right, let's do a little Tia. Tia, is Tia legit? Not Tia Tamara, not the twins, famous from the 90s here. All right, it's talking about Tia altcoin. Oh, whoa, this is 4 minutes. I didn't know this was 4 minutes. We can't do all 4 minutes. So shout out, watch this on Joshua Jakes' should we do the all 4 minutes? No, we're not going to do all 4 minutes. So check that out. Let's do the first 10 seconds, though. 40 seconds.
Let's do the next 100x altcoin. It's been a minute, but today we're going to be doing an altcoin review. Before I give you the breakdown on all the hype around this token, I do not know this team, I am not paid, and I am not sponsored by them. First and foremost, Celestia is claiming to be the first ever modular blockchain network.
Yeah, we're talking about modular blockchains. Let me skip ahead. Okay, he goes into a deep dive.
Say this is swimming
He's got
up
a deep dive
river.
there. So check that out. TikTok will let you yeah, that's right. It's up to 10 minutes. It's up to 10 minutes. So shout out to that Chinese app, brainwashing the masses though, but it is a good product. It is a good product. Matt Groening, I think is how you say his last name, is from the future. He has intelligence ties. Like CIA. It's tied to the CIA. Yeah. Maybe Google that. Maybe fact check me on that real quick. If you want to type in Matt Groening, it's Groening, CIA. See what pops up here. I remember watching the first Simpsons episode live on TV. Are you old? Yes. It was the not Tracy Ullman show, but it was some show.
I think it was Tracy Ullman show.
Was it Tracy Ullman show? Okay.
I would bet 25 cents.
I bet you won Ada. It wasn't Tracy Ullman show.
Well,
Tracy Ullman show was the
Ada,
show where she did costume changes, right?
Yeah, but Ada's unfortunately 29 cents now, or 30.
Okay, it's not a stable coin anymore. All right. Breaking news: Iran, Saudi Arabia about to sign a treaty. Okay, is Jared Kushner over there somewhere? Okay, random napkin in my jacket pocket. That's always good. All right.
Simpsons did it because producer Matt Groening is a notable notorious CIA operator of the Epstein Island, foretold the false flag information, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of just different clips on this.
Okay. Interesting there. All right. Time for a little Q&A here. Wait a minute. We did have CoinGecko at Celestia. Let me just look at this real quick. So it's up 15% today. So if you just FOMO traded in after Josh's video, you're sitting pretty today. Newer. Okay. Yeah. Real new. Okay. Wow. Launch. It is launching today. All right. So hey, it'd be exciting to watch this one. So not enough chart action here. We look at tokenomics. It looks like 14% is out. So we've still got 86% circulating supply. All right, let's see here. What do we have for questions? Did you save any? Dr. Marvin Monroe. Where are these guys based off of? Well, if you're talking about us guys, Jack. Hey, Jack. We're based in Atlanta. From Houston, though. Where are you from?
I'm from Houston originally, but I mean, I kind of feel like I'm from New York because I lived there for 17 years before I just moved down here.
And BJ's from Pluto.
So, oh, God. Do you even know where I'm from?
BJ is from Atlanta.
I'm Florida, man.
Florida man. I would not have guessed Florida man. I wouldn't have guessed Florida man, but now it all makes sense here. Do we have any, or is that all we got for today, BJ? We do have the FOMC meeting stream. So we're going to be streaming that. And Basement is going to be an hour earlier, but ATB will be at the regular time. We're going to be up at 4 p.m., folks.
And those of you that are in the BitLab, come join in the Discord doing the private member stream here in about 10 minutes.
All right. Shout out to Galveston, jellyfish water and seaweed everywhere.
Hey, you want to see some beautiful brown ocean? Go to Galveston.
Yeah, listless waves that just really don't flop around, do anything here. All right. That's all we got. Lee, just reporting how awesome we are. That is awesome. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Celestial holders are up over 25x. Be careful. Oh, they're going to dump, baby. They're going to dump. That's all we got. See you tomorrow.